creating an empty dictionary and using the user inputs as a number of employees. Then we are using for input to to integrate both the ID and name to name, and we are using search ID to search the employee's ID number, and if it's found here, then it will be displayed or it will print employee ID not found. Here we will create an empty list, then fill it using then give the number of string using user input and use for loop here. Each time it takes a string from the user, it adds to the string list, and then we initialize the counter. Then if the length of the string is greater than 2, then it will be counted here. And no, if the length of the string is greater than 2, and if the first element and the last is indexes are same, then it will be counted plus 1. And if not, it will not be counted. Here we are taking an empty list and taking your user input as the number of elements. And if for every value, we will use the for loop to it takes a number input from the user. It adds to the set using dot add. And if the number is repeated, it will not take it as it's a set. And we are using the max function to find and print the largest element in the set. For the fourth one, we will take a list nums and we will add the number of elements. And using for loop, we are using each time it takes a number from the user, it adds to the list nums using append, and then that nums is equal to tuple nums, changing in the list to tuple, and using the sum to add all the numbers in the tuple. Here we are introducing NumPy, that's number Python, and we are giving the number of rows and number of columns here. And for it, the mat one is used for asking the user to enter values for row by row by using nested list comprehension. Since it's a 2D array, the same for the second matrix, and converting it, we are converting in the list to number array, and then we are adding the two matrices element by element using NumPy, and the result is then printed. And the sixth one, since it's the same as last one, we are taking the rows from and columns from user, and using for the first follow for columns and the second for the rows for as user input, and using in np.array to change it to change the list 2D list to array matrix form, and then np.sum.matrix to add all the elements here. For the seventh one, we are taking a data set from Kaggle, and then for it we will import pandas as PD, and we will read the iris.csv file to csdf, and for the first 10 rows df.head of 10, and for the second one, it's for the last 5 rows we will have to use tail of 5, df.tail of 5. Then for rows and columns count, use df.shape. The first index is showing the row, and second index is showing the columns. Here we will see the dataset size, and for that we will use df.size 900 here, and for rows and columns we will use ds.shape 150,6, and for the dimensions df.endime, your dimension is 2 dimension, and for info and summary df.info will get all the info summary, and that's all.